Hey everybody, welcome to class today. Today is going to be a 70 minutes challenging but all levels balancing flow. If you enjoy these classes, please remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to know more or if you've got class requests, either leave me a note in the comments or head over to my Instagram, which is in the show notes below. We're going to get started today in a kneeling position with the toes tucked under if you can. Starting in a kneeling position, if you can, tucking the toes under, making sure that you move the pinky toes so that they are also tucked under. If this is too intense for you, you can always come to sit on the tops of the feet. Wherever you are, lengthening through the crown of the head, the back of the neck is long. And think of stacking the bones on top of each other so that your body sits naturally without too much effort. On your next inhale through the nose, draw the shoulders up towards the ears, and then big open mouth exhale, let them fall down the back. One more like that. Inhale, tense up the shoulders, draw them up by the ears, and then big open mouth exhale, let it go. And start to breathe in and out through the nose, drawing some gentle attention to the space between your ribs and your hips. So if you're overarching through your spine and you're flaring out your ribs, see if you can gently draw the frontal rib points and the frontal hip points towards each other. And then once again, lengthen through the back of the neck to sit the spine tall. One more breath here. And if they're not already, come and tuck your toes under. You're going to start to lean the torso back, start to lift the knees up. You can have the hands down if you need to. And then you're going to shift the weight back so that you come into a low squat. The torso is parallel with the floor. Your hands can reach forward or you can reach them back behind you. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, start to raise the heels. Sink the hips down to the heels. Start to lean the torso back as you tap the knees down to the floor. Hands can be down if you need. And then we're going to do it again. So start to lift the knees up. Send the heels down to the floor as the torso comes forward, arms back or forward. And then start to sweep the arms back, raise the heels, keep the torso low. Send the hips to the heels, start to lean the torso back as you tap the knees down to the floor. We're going to take 3 more just like this. So move at your own pace. We're starting to warm up the feet and the ankles, the hips, the whole body really. Really slowing down that transition to tap the knees if you can. One more. And then bring the knees down to tap. Take the flats or the tops of the feet flat to the floor. Come to sit back on the heels. We're going to do something similar. Think of hugging the inner ankles towards each other. Sit up nice and tall. Start to lean back at the hips, keeping the torso long, and then start to draw the knees up off the floor. So we've got a dual action of stretching the fronts of the feet and also engaging the lower belly. And take the knees down. Shift yourself forward into a tabletop. Keep the tops of the feet to the floor as you start to lift the knees into a bear crawl pose. And then start to straighten out through the knees. Hug the outer ankles in so that the ankles don't just flop out to the sides. Weight even between all 10 toes. As you come into a downward dog, a little bit shorter and on the tops of your feet. We'll reverse the process, so start to shift the torso forward, shoulders over the wrists, bring the knees to hover, set the knees down, hips back to the heels, and then hug those inner ankles towards each other as you start to send the torso back, lift up through the knees, stretch out the fronts of the feet. Take it forward into your tabletop. Lift the knees to hover. And then start to straighten out through the legs, hugging those ankles so that they don't just splay out. We want to protect our joints. And send the torso back as much as is comfortable for you. Start to shift it forward. Come into your bear hover. Set the knees down. Hug the ankles towards each other. Hips towards the heels. Lift the knees. And we'll just do one more of those. Send it forward to your table. Come into a hover. Straighten out the knees. Take the hips up and back. Come forward into your hover. Set the knees down. Come back to sit on the heels. Take the torso back. Lift the knees. And then set the knees down. And make your way back into a tabletop. This time the hips are underneath the knees. The hips are above the knees. Wrists underneath the shoulders. Inhale, peel the sternum forward. Tailbone to the sky. Cow belly breath. Exhale, press the floor away. Scoop the belly round the upper back. Inhale, lengthen into cow belly. Exhale, press away for cat. Take 3 more here on your own. As always, feeling free to invite any other movements into this that feel good in your body. And coming to a neutral spine, so you're neither tucked nor rounded. As you inhale, sweep the right arm forward. Keep the pelvis even as you exhale. Send those left toes behind you. All 5 toes point down. They can be touching the floor or floating at the height of the hip. Reach length through the back of the neck. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, sweep the arm and the leg off to the side, keeping them at the height of the hip and the shoulder. Inhale, come back to your spinal balance. Take 4 more just like that. Keep the right hip hugging underneath you and make sure you're not tilting out through the pelvis. Inhale, send it long. Exhale, take the right hand down, kick the right toes off to the side. And then as you inhale, come into a modified side plank. The left foot can be lifted or it can be down on the ground. Take an inhale, sweep the left arm forward. And then as you exhale, round, tap knee to elbow. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to crunch. Take 3 more here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, come back to your tabletop. As you inhale, sweep the left arm forward. And then as you exhale, take those right toes back behind you, either to the ground or to hover. Lengthen the shoulders away from the ears. And support through the lower spine so you're not just dropping the ribs and the pelvis. You're keeping that connection. Take 1 more inhale here, and then as you exhale, sweep arm and leg to the side. Inhale back through center. Take 4 more. Inhale it long. Exhale, set the left hand down, send the left foot over to the left. As you inhale, sweep up into your modified side plank. take an inhale to reach the right arm overhead. And then as you exhale, round, tap knee to elbow. Inhale it long. Take 4 more. Inhale, sweep it long. Exhale, back to tabletop. Tuck the toes under, take an inhale. And then as you exhale, keep a neutral spine, come into a hover. You can stay here, or trying to keep the pelvis as even as possible, start to shift the weight into the right hand as you take left hand to right shoulder. Left hand down, right hand left shoulder. Right hand down, send right foot to the back of the mat. Bring it down, send left foot to the back of the mat. Bring it down. Left hand, right shoulder. Take it down. Right hand, left shoulder. Look at the knees. If they're swaying to one side, it means your pelvis is probably swaying. Take the right foot back. Bring it in. Take the left foot back. Bring it in. One more on each. Left hand. Take it down. Right hand. Take it down. Left foot. Take it down. Right foot. Take it down. Take an inhale in your hover. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, cow belly breath. Exhale, round. Find your neutral spine. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lift the knees to hover. You can stay here or do what we just did. Otherwise, as you inhale, send that left arm to the front of the mat. And then as you exhale, send that right leg to the back of the mat. Just like we did in spinal balance. And if this gets too much, you can always drop that left knee. And bring it back to your hover. Take an inhale. And then send the right arm forward, left leg back. Try and even off through that pelvis by hugging the right hip in, lifting the left hip up slightly as much as you can. Remember, we aim for the best that we can, not for perfection. As long as you're safe, I'm happy. Bring right hand, left foot back, take an inhale, and exhale, set the knees down. Untuck the toes, inhale, cow belly breath. Exhale, round through the spine, press into the tops of the feet, start to hover the feet again. Start to straighten out through the legs, hug the outer ankles in as you roll up and over the toes, coming into your first downward dog. If that's an uncomfortable transition for you, then you can always just step one foot back and then the other. Otherwise, we're going to roll between the two. So start to come up onto the toes, start to lower the knees. You're going to roll onto the tips of the toes and then roll over the toes, coming into your hover on the tops of your feet. Start to straighten the knees, hug the ankles in, roll all the way up and over the toes. Start to shift onto the toes. Start to shift the weight forward, come up onto the tips of the toes, roll over. And then one more time, we'll send the hips all the way up and back, rolling over the toes. And now take a couple of breaths in your downward facing dog, maybe pedaling out the feet, taking movements that feel good to you here. And then we're going to take the right leg up on an inhale. All 5 toes point down, even through the hips. You can stay here or start to come up onto the left fingertips. Maybe start to take that left hand back towards the middle of the mat or reach it back for your left thigh. Using the whole right hand as a balancing point. And then from here, we're going to start to shift forward into a two-limbed plank. So the left hand can stay back, or you can reach it forward for an awkward plank. So just like we did in spinal balance, except now we've got less contact with the ground. And then we're going to move between the two. So start to send the hips up and back. Right leg reaches back. Find the best position for your left hand. It can move around to help your balance. And then start to shift forward into your two-limbed plank. Take it back, two-limbed downward dog. And bring it forward into your two-limbed plank. Set the left hand down, set the right hand down. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, elbows go to the back of the room, lower the chest, Chaturanga. Inhale, press up plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take the second side. So as you inhale, you're going to start to lift that left leg back behind you. Draw the right hip back in space, left toes point down. You can stay here with two hands on the ground through the whole sequence, or you can start to come up onto right fingertips, maybe reaching that right hand back behind you, gluing it to the right hip or thigh. Start to look forward. We're going to start to shift the body forward, coming into that two-limb plank. So maybe the right hand stays back, maybe it comes to the floor, or maybe you reach it forward of you. Keeping an even length between both sides of the body as much as you can. Bugs crawling all over me. And then we're going to start to take it back into that two-limbed dog. So press through the left hand, send the hips up and back. And then we're going to shift it forward into our awkward plank. Shift it back into our two-limbed dog, sorry. Send it forward, awkward plank. Hips up and back. And just remember that if you're finding this hard, it's because it's hard. Send it forward into your awkward plank. Take right hand down, left foot down. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to the height of the elbows. Shoulders don't come any lower than the elbows. Take an inhale. Exhale, plank. Back to downward facing dog. God, I'm like attacked by mosquitoes all of a sudden. Inhale, shift yourself forward. The trials of working outside. Holding your plank. Heels go to the back of the room. Sternum and crown of the head reach forward. You can stay here, or you can come up onto right fingertips, left fingertips, right palm, left palm, left fingertips, right fingertips, left palm, right palm. Keep going like that. And we'll take one more cycle. Shift the weight forward. Lower into your Chaturanga. Keep engaging the legs and the lower belly. Maybe float the right leg off. Set it down. Maybe float the left leg off. Set it down. Press back up to plank. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Look towards the top of the mat, and you're slowly going to walk yourself all the way up so that your feet come to the backs of the wrists. As much of a bend in your knees as you need. Take opposite hand to opposite elbow, and you're just going to sway from side to side. Maybe shaking the head, yes and no. And then letting the arms hang heavy towards the ground. Bend in the knees. Think of dropping the tailbone towards the floor as you stack the spine, coming all the way up into standing. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, you're going to side bend towards the left. Strong grounding down through the right foot. Think of the right rib cage spiraling up to the sky, and send that tailbone towards the floor. So you're not tucking it towards the front of the room, you're just thinking of it hanging heavy. Start to shift the weight into the right foot, and then you're going to float the left leg directly off to the left. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, bring it back through center. Inhale, reach it long. As you exhale, start to side bend over towards the other side. Ground down strongly through the left leg. Lengthen through the lower back and look up underneath the left armpit if it's available for you. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to shift the weight to the left leg. You're just going to float that right leg straight off to the right. Inhale, bring yourself back through center. Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step, walk or float, Chaturanga. Inhale, press straight back up to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Look to the top, step, walk, float. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, come to stand. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Step, walk or float, Chaturanga, land with bent arms if you're jumping. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Look to the top, step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. 3 more rounds just like this. Inhale, raise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk, float. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Look to the front, step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk or float. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Look to the top, step, walk, float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise. Last round. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk or float. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Look to the top, step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, send the hips back. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand. Modified Surya B. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk or float. No, you can always skip vinyasas. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Step the right leg forward. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, sweep the arms back. Come to a warrior 3. If that doesn't work in your body, you're just going to come to a power lunge. Send the left foot back. Step the right foot back. Single leg plank. Inhale. Chaturanga. Plank pose. Exhale, downward dog. Step the left leg forward, inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior three or power lunge. Inhale, step the right leg back, hands down. Exhale, single leg plank, chaturanga. Inhale, plank or single leg plank. Exhale, downward dog. Look to the top, step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. We'll do it a few more times so you get the hang of it. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale, chair. Exhale to stand. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step, walk or float. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Right leg steps. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, hug the right hip underneath you. Knee tracks forward. Warrior three. Inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, chaturanga or single leg chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Step the left leg forward. Inhale, crescent. Hug the left hip in strongly. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale, set the right leg back. Exhale, take it through your vinyasa. Look towards the top of the mat, step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, dog. Right leg steps. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior three or your power lunge. Inhale, step left leg back. Exhale, take it through your vinyasa. Left leg steps. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior three or power lunge. Inhale, step that right leg back. Exhale through your vinyasa. Look to the top, step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, vinyasa. Right leg steps. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, sweep it forward. Inhale, set left leg down. Exhale through your vinyasa. Left leg steps. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, right leg steps back. Exhale, vinyasa. Look to the top, step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale to stand. Last round like that. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, vinyasa. Right leg steps. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, sweep it forward. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, vinyasa. Left leg steps. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, Bring it forward. Inhale, right leg steps. Exhale, vinyasa. Look to the top, step, walk or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. This time we hold. As you exhale, sweep the arms back, come up onto the toes. Inhale, chair. Exhale, sweep the arms, raise the heels. Inhale to chair. Take 3 more just like this. Inhale to chair. As you exhale, raise up onto the toes. Start to straighten the knees. Take a nice big inhale, standing on your tippy toes. And just like we did on the floor, keep hugging those outer ankles in so that you're not just flopping to the pinky toe side of your foot or feet. Take one more nice deep inhale here. Keep that rib to hip connection. And then as you exhale, just like you're sliding down a wall, stay on the tippy toes if you can. You're going to start to bend the knees and sink the hips all the way down towards the heels. Staying nice and high on the toes, nice and slow transition. Crack, crunch through all the bones. And then from here, you're going to bring the big toe mounds together, the heels together, and you're going to send the knees nice and wide. You can stay here on the fingertips. You can bring the hands up to the knees, or you can start to reach the hands up and overhead, sitting nice and tall through the spine. You can keep hanging out here, drawing the inner sides of the feet together, or we can come up into crow pose, planting the hands, drawing the inner knees to the backs of the arms, shifting the weight forward into your Chaturanga arms, and then lifting one foot up at a time. From here, you're going to set the feet down, draw the inner edges of the feet together again, the knees come wide, and we're going to come up in a wide kneed kind of squat situation. So sit up tall like you're against the wall, hands can come to heart center, and you're going to start to straighten out through the legs just as slowly as you came down. We're going to come up, and now the toes are pointing out, so the knees are going to start to point out. Keep the inner edges of the feet together if you can. Draw the hamstrings in, inner thighs together. Stay on the tiptoes. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. And now start to parallel the feet to the front of the mat so the knees will face forward. And then as you exhale, staying on the toes, you're going to start to hinge forward at the hips. Gentle bend in the knees if you need to keep that spine parallel with the floor. Back of the neck is lengthening, and we're just going to take little pulses of the backs of the hands towards the sky. So just working those muscles in between the shoulder blades along the back of the spine. Try to keep the shoulders releasing away from the ears. There's a lot of work going on in the lower body here. Stay with it. One more breath. And then exhale, release the heels, come into a forward fold. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. Inhale, come into a halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step, walk or float with or without a vinyasa. We meet in downward dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Come up into your crescent lunge as you inhale. If this is enough of a balance challenge for you, you can stay here, drawing the right hip back, lengthening that tail towards the floor. Again, we're not tucking and scooping, we're just lengthening. So you can stay here, or you can start to raise up onto the toes of that front leg. Again, even weight distribution through both sides of the feet. Foot, feet, foot. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, lower that heel to the floor. Take the hands down, send that back leg up for a standing split. Hug the right hip back, the left toes face the floor. You can stay here, or you can start to take the right hand to the back of the right leg, maybe the left hand to the back of the left leg. And you can keep hanging out here in your standing split, or if you're working towards handstand, you're going to plant the hands underneath the shoulders. Make sure the shoulders come underneath the wrists. Gently grip the mat as if you're trying to claw the mat towards each other. And then think of going up towards the sky as opposed to kicking up over a wall. So you want to think of lengthening the lower back. And of course, this is going to be the one time where I'm not able to do a handstand. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then if you're up in a handstand, you're going to float that right leg back down. Everybody take an inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, start to float the hands back behind you, coming into your warrior three. Take a moment to take the hands to the pelvis. You want to draw that right hip back, the left hip down slightly so your pelvis is even to the floor. Gentle bend in through the left knee, strong extension through the left leg is straight, right leg is slightly bent. I can't talk. Stay here or reach your arms out in front of you. As you inhale, start to upright the torso. Draw the left knee in towards the chest. You can stay here, falling all over the place, hugging the left knee in towards the chest, or you can take the left peace fingers, reach them for the left big toe, and start to extend that left leg out in front of you. Draw the left shoulder back, left hip slightly down, but don't drop the right hip out to the side. And just know that some days we have good balance days and some days we don't. I chose to film this on a day where I'm clearly not having a good balance day. If you've got a hold of the toe, try and keep a hold of it if you can. If not, you can keep holding onto the shin. We're going to come down into a pistol squat. So start to send the hips back first, then start to bend the right knee. If you need to lift the right heel, feel free to do so, and feel free to take the hands to the floor. Transitioning into your pistol squat. Stay holding the foot or the leg, or maybe release that leg, coming into a hover with the left leg. Staying on the right foot if you can, you're going to start to draw that left knee in towards the chest. Set it down next to the right, so we're in our little toe squat. Start to take the knees wide. Once again, you can stay here, or we can play with crow pose again. If you're feeling confident in your crow pose and you want to take this to headstand, you can start to tilt the torso forward, bring the crown of the head down to the floor, tuck the knees into the chest, and then slowly with control start to send the legs up towards the sky. Keep hugging the elbows towards each other and engage the glutes to lengthen through the lower back. So think of the back of the pelvis and the back of the ribs moving away from each other. If you came upside down, you're going to start to bend the knees back into the chest. Set them to the backs of the arms. Press the floor away, come back into your crow pose. And then set the toes down. Inner edges of the feet are moving towards each other. Knees are wide. We're going to do that slow squat up again. So keep the knees in the same direction as the toes. As you start to press through the balls of the feet, start to straighten out through the legs. Hug those inner thighs towards each other. Rib to hip connection as you start to sweep the arms up and overhead. And then turn all 10 toes to face the front of the room. As you exhale, start to hinge forward at the hips, gentle bend in through the knees if you need to. And then staying on the toes if you can. Once your torso is parallel-ish, you're going to start to inhale, sweep those arms forward. And then as you exhale, draw the elbows back into a cactus. Take 4 more here. Keep lengthening the back of the neck. Inhale, sweep the arms long. And then as you exhale, drop the heels, fold forward. Inhale, come into a halfway lift and lengthen. And then as you exhale, plant the hands, step, walk or float back. We meet in downward dog. Raise the left leg up, inhale. And then as you exhale, step it forward. Inhale, lengthen up, come into your crescent, set up your alignment points. Stay here or start to raise onto the toes of the left leg. Set the right heel down, start to hinge the torso forward, and then come up to stand on that left leg. Right toes face down towards the floor. Gentle bend in through the left knee. Stay here or take the left hand behind the calf, maybe the right hand to the left ankle. And then feel free to hang out here in your standing splits. Otherwise, if you're working towards handstand or handstand hops, you can feel free to do that. Maybe this time you have more success than the last time. Keep pressing the floor away. Lengthen through the lower back. Get the bugs off your face. And take a couple more breaths wherever you're at. And if you went up, you're going to float that left leg down. Inhale, come up onto the fingertips, reach the sternum forward. Hug the left hip back as you float one arm and then the other behind you. Torso comes parallel to the floor. Hands to the hips, see if you can even off through the pelvis. Gentle bend in the left knee, strong extension in the right leg. And then maybe you float those arms out in front of you for a full warrior 3. And then start to upright the torso. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. Feel free to stay here, hugging knee in towards the chest. Or take the peace fingers, hook them around the right big toe, and start to extend that right leg out in front of you, any amount. Drawing the right hip crease down, the right shoulder back. Hugging that left hip into the midline. From here, we're coming into our pistol squat. So start to send the hips back first, then bend the left knee. Come up onto the left toes if you need to. Hands can always come down. and then come into your pistol squat. You can keep holding onto the right leg or toes, or you can hover it, bringing the hands to wherever is the best for you. And then staying on those left toes, start to draw the right knee in towards you. Set the right foot back by the left, coming back into our little toe squat. As always, staying here. Or maybe this time we play with Ekapada Bakasana. So coming into your crow pose and then hugging the left knee in towards the left arm. Maybe you can draw the right knee in towards the chest. Maybe you can send it long behind you. Keep hugging the elbows in. Set the right foot to the back of the mat, everybody. And then you're going to set that left foot forward, so we're in our runner's lunge. Take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, sternum reaches forward, arms float back. Left hip hugs underneath you, and the knee is facing in the same direction as the toes. Start to shift the weight into the right foot. We're going to come all the way to stand, drawing right knee in towards the chest. As you inhale, extend that right leg long, and then as you exhale, you're going to start to tilt the pelvis forward, coming into a warrior three. Gentle bend in the left knee if you need to. Inhale, bring it forward, extend the right knee. Exhale, take it back, warrior three. Hands can be wherever you like. We'll take 3 more just like that. As you inhale, you're going to set the right foot down next to the left, sweep the arms up. And then as you exhale, you're going to sink into your chair pose. Bring the hands to the hips. You want to make sure that the hips don't swing from side to side here. Shift the weight to the left leg, and then as you exhale, you're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest. Inhale, you're going to tap the toes back behind you. Exhale, draw the knee into the chest. Inhale, tap toes back. Exhale, draw it in. 3 more. See if you can keep that left knee stable and facing forward. You should really feel your glutes on the left side working here. And then this time we're going to step that right leg all the way back, coming back into our power lunge. This time sweeping the arms forward as you inhale, and then as you exhale, drawing the elbows back, cactusing the arms, waking up those upper back muscles. Inhale, reach it forward. Exhale to cactus. Take 3 more here. Keep the shoulders out of the ears. Inhale, reach the arms long. Exhale, set the right hand down, pivot to the outside edge of the right foot. Come into your side plank. Option to stay here, or as you inhale, sweep the left arm up and overhead. As you exhale, crunch, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach it long. Take 4 more. Keep that left hip stacking on top of the right. Don't let it roll up to the sky. Inhale, reach it long. Exhale, with or without a vinyasa, we meet in downward dog. From here, you're going to look towards the hands, step walk or float the feet to the backs of the hands. And then come back into your little toe squat. Staying here, taking a Bakasana or playing with Ekapada Bakasana. So start by coming into your crow pose and then hugging that right knee into the back of the right arm. Maybe right knee comes to chest, maybe it extends behind you. And then everybody step that left leg towards the back of the mat, right leg forward, so we're in our lunge. Take an inhale. As you exhale, hug the right hip in strongly. Reach the sternum forward as you float the arms back. Length through the back of the neck. And as we come to stand, I challenge you to keep that right knee as stable as you can. Shift the weight to the right foot. Come all the way to stand. Draw the left knee in towards the chest. Take an inhale, extend the knee. And then as you exhale, tilt the torso forward. Come back into your warrior three. Gentle bend in the right knee if you need. Helps with the pelvis. Inhale, bring it forward, extend the leg. Exhale, warrior three. Take 3 more here. Strong extension with the left leg in your warrior three. And this time as you inhale, left foot comes to meet right. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, sink it down into your chair pose. Take the hands to the hips. We're trying to keep the hips even. As we shift the weight to the right foot, make sure the right knee doesn't collapse in. Come up onto the left toes and then draw the left knee in towards the chest. As you inhale, you're just going to tap the left toes towards the back of the mat. Exhale, draw knee to chest. 4 more, keeping that right leg steady. And then this time you're going to step that left leg all the way to the back of the mat, coming back into our power lunge. And as you inhale, this time you're going to sweep the arms forward. Exhale, cactus the arms. Keep the right hip hugging underneath you. Take 4 more. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, take left hand down, pivot to the outside edge of the left foot. Come into your side plank. Stay here, or as you inhale, sweep that right arm up and overhead. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, send it long. Take 4 more. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, with or without your vinyasa, make your way to downward dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. And then as you exhale, set it forward. Drop the back knee, and as you inhale, come up into your Anjaneyasana. Take left hand to the belly, right hand to the sacrum, and think of gently drawing the left hand up, the right hand down. Again, we're not scooping, we're lengthening. Try and keep this. You can have the hands at heart center, or you can take them to the hips. We're going to shift the weight into the right shin, and we're going to start to take the right foot back. So we're going to sweep it all the way out to the side. You might have to tap it along the way and take it back so that you're kind of in a, I don't even know what you would call this. The right foot is back, the torso is leaning forward. You can have the hands on the floor if you need to. And then we're going to take that right leg, sweep it all the way out to the side, keep it long, and then step it back into our lunge. Shift the weight to the left shin, start to lift the right toes as you sweep them all the way to the back of the mat. So the aim is eventually to be able to get the torso parallel with the floor, the hips parallel with the floor in this mini warrior 3 with the toes down. And then we're going to reverse it, so bring those toes all the way back into your lunge. And we're just going to do 3 more. So for some reason, doing things on your knees is way harder for your balance than doing them on your feet. And bring it up into your lunge. From here, we're going to lift up the right foot. So now we're kneeling. It's almost like we're in a lunge with the front foot floating. And then we're going to step that foot back to tap. So right knee is going to tap left knee. So we're in a hovering kneeling position. And then we're going to come back to our hovering lunge. So obviously the foot can tap down in between if you need to. But we're coming from this hovering lunge into a hovering kneel. And we're just going to take 3 more. And as you can feel, your whole body is having to work to stabilize you, but especially that left leg, quad, glute area. And then bring it back into kneeling. Right knee meets the floor. Tuck underneath the toes, and just like we did at the start to send the hips back towards the heels, lean the torso back, start to come up onto the toes. And we're going to shift into that Ardha Utkatasana. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Keep the torso parallel. As you exhale, you're just going to raise up onto the toes, sweep the arms back. 4 more just like that. Inhale, sweep it forward. Exhale, raise the heels, sweep back. 3 more on your own. Inhale, come into your Ardha Utkatasana. Start to lift the heels, sink the hips down towards the heels. And then you're just going to take the hands down, walk it out into your downward facing dog. Take a breath here, or rinse it out with a vinyasa. Last little push here. Start to send the weight into the right leg. Inhale, sweep that left leg up behind you. And then as you exhale, step it all the way through, lower the back leg. Inhale, sweep it up into your Anjaneyasana. And then take a moment to feel neutral in your pelvis. So right hand to belly, left hand to sacrum. Draw up and down. And then maybe take your hands side to side. See if you can draw the left hip back in line with the right. Make sure that one hip isn't swinging way out to the side. Then start to shift the weight into the right leg. Start to hover the left leg, and you're going to do a big sweep all the way out to the side. So we're circumducting that left leg. There you go, big word for the day. And then bringing that left leg behind you, almost in a warrior 3 with the toes down. If it's available to you, you can always keep those left toes hovering, so you come into a baby warrior 3. And then we're going to sweep it all the way around to the side, maybe tapping the foot as you go, bringing it all the way back into your lunge. We'll take 4 more just like that, so take it at your own pace. Make the modifications that you need. And most of all, have patience with yourself. This stuff is tricky. It's not something we do every single day. And it's just good to try it out, challenge our body. It doesn't have to look a particular way. We're just stimulating different parts of the brain, different parts of the nervous system and the musculoskeletal system to help our overall body awareness, balance, and strength. This is our last one. Then come back into your lunge. From here we're going to take that hovering lunge to hovering kneel. So start to shift the weight to the right shin, raise up onto the left toes, then start to float the left foot. See if you can bring that foot in so that the left knee taps the right, the shin hovers above the mat, and then step it back forward. If you can do it without touching the toes down, that's great. Into your hovering lunge, and then back into your hovering kneel. There's a bird taking a bath. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. We'll take 3 more. Last one. And then float that right leg back to meet the left. Knee comes down, tuck underneath the toes one more time. Sit back onto the heels, raise the knee. Come back into your Ardha Utkatasana. Inhale here. Wait for the cars. Exhale. Cactus the arms, raise up onto the toes. 4 more. Inhale, Ardha Utkatasana. Exhale, raise the heels, sink the hips down to the heels. Slowly lower the knees down. And then we're going to come into our final inversion. So you can take a handstand, you can take a headstand, you can take a Pincha Mayurasana. Wherever you are, feel free to take that. I'm going to take, or attempt to take, Pincha Mayurasana. So if you want to, you can just come into dolphin, opposite hand to opposite elbow, forearms parallel, tuck under the toes, and then walk the feet in towards the elbows, like downward dog on your elbows. You can stay here, or you can take your headstand from here, or if you're coming with me to Pincha Mayurasana, keep hugging those elbows in, walk one foot in, and just like in handstand, think of lengthening the back as opposed to just trying to flick over. Think of going up towards the sky. Keep lengthening the tail away from the ribs, and keep drawing those frontal ribs in towards each other, pressing the floor away with your forearms and creating space between the ears and the shoulders. Wherever you are, you're going to take the feet back. We're all going to come into a forearm plank. Take a nice deep inhale here, and then exhale, set the knees down. Walk the hips back towards the heels, coming into a child's pose. And take a couple of nice deep breaths here. And then slowly walking yourself up, you're going to make your way onto your seat. Bend the knees in towards you, take the hands behind you. Cross the right ankle over the top of the left knee. You can stay here, walking the hands in towards you, or you can plant the hands, lift the hips, come into a reverse table. So don't let the right hip drop down, keep the right hip working up, but see if you can let that right knee drop down a little bit. You can always take a double pigeon or another hip opener of your choice. And then set the hips down. You're going to keep the cross of the legs, just draw that left ankle by the right hip, stamp the sole of the right foot to the floor, right hand behind you, inhale, sweep left arm up, and then as you exhale, take your twist. Either hooking the elbow to the outside of the knee or coat hanging. You can always just extend that left leg long on the mat if that works better in your body. Slowly unwind yourself. Plant the feet hips distance apart, cross the left ankle over the right. Stay here, or maybe you're coming into your reverse table, lifting the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. Slowly lowering the hips if you lifted them, either extending the right leg or hugging it back by the left hip. Stamp the sole of the left foot to the outside of the right leg, left hand behind you. Inhale, sweep right arm up. Exhale, take your twist. Slowly unwind yourself. Extend the legs nice and long on the mat. Bend in the knees if you need to. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Paschimottanasana. Roll yourself up, and then you can come to a seated meditation to finish, or you can roll down onto your back and take Shavasana. Take any other movements that you feel like you need in your body, and come to a final resting position that is comfortable for you. It doesn't have to look like anything in particular. It could be a child's pose, you could be seated, you could have your legs up a wall. Wherever you are, I invite you to turn the palms up towards the sky as a gesture of receiving the benefits of your practice and also of letting go. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose, hold it at the top, and big open mouth exhale, letting go of anything that's no longer serving you. And if you feel like you need to take some more cleansing breaths, it's always a wonderful idea. Wherever you are, just taking a few moments just to let the body settle, let the mind be calm, and know that thoughts will come up, and that's fine. Just observe them without judgment, without attachment. They're not important right now, and they'll still be there once your yoga practice is finished. And please feel free to stay here for as long as you have time for today. Today, as you go forward, may you have space between your thoughts, kindness in your words, and generosity in your heart. Namaste.